Good evening, fuckers. So, welcome to the 5th Train Simulator Classic request video. This one was requested by RetroChiZ. Oh, I got the name right. But he gave me quite a lot of leeway with this. The only thing that he requested was the route, which is the Edinburgh to Glasgow route. Now I've decided to go the other way, so I'm starting at Glasgow Queen Street and will be finishing at Edinburgh Waverley. But that was the only thing that he was specific about, so I had free rein as far as choice of loco. And I must admit, I did consider going a bit mad and choosing like a high-speed train. But in the end, I decided to rein it in quite a bit, actually. And I've chosen a loco that I am not very good at driving at all. And it is ye old Class 101 DMU. And if you are familiar with driving the Class 101, you'll probably have a pretty good idea why I'm not too good at driving this thing, because it's the one that has the manual gears. So yeah, the train itself is only going to be a 2-car train. I don't know how small some of the stations are. I mean, it doesn't really matter because this is a non-stop one. We're not stopping until we reach Edinburgh Waverley. So yeah, I could have done 3-car. The most you can have is a 3-car, but yeah, I'll stick with the 2. So let's get underway. So this journey is going to be just over 47 miles. Not entirely sure how long it will take, but we'll have an ETA when we eventually arrive in Glasgow Queen Street. Here we are. So it's going to take just shy of an hour and 10 minutes. I suspect we'll be able to shave off some time there. Let's get things set up. It's not really taking very long to set up. Let's let some people on board. Now the reason I've chosen to do it this way from Glasgow to Edinburgh is that the exit from Edinburgh is a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of it. So I figured, right, if we take it from Glasgow, surely the way out of Glasgow Queen Street is easier than the exit from Edinburgh Waverley. Anyway, we're into first gear. Let's get underway. So 15 mph speed limit in this section. Not for too long though before we hit a 30 mph section. Because the train is so short, yeah, it doesn't take too long before we are, once we pass a speed increase or decrease, it doesn't take too long before the entire train's past it and we can actually speed up. Keep it in second gear for now, but once we pass this 40 mph section then we'll go up to third gear. Now, I have a feeling that the way I drive this DMU, of keeping it in full throttle and changing gear, is probably not the best way of driving it. But I've not read any guides or watched any review videos as we hit a 1 in 50 incline. So in fact, staying in low gear at the moment is probably not a bad idea, but we'll still change up anyway. But yeah, as I say, I've not read any guides or seen any videos or nothing about how to drive this, so I've no idea if this is the right way or not. But it works for me. Right, so we're into the 40 mph section. Let's move up to third gear. We're still on this 1 in 50 uphill gradient, so it's not going to do our acceleration rate any favours. What a wonderfully scenic part of Glasgow this is. If there's one thing Scotland has plenty of, it's fantastic scenery, and I dare say we will see some on this trip. This is a route that I have not used very often, so I'm not that familiar with it. About to enter a 50 mph section. There you go. Let's go up to fourth gear. We're certainly not going to be able to max out the speed of this thing until we hit the 85 section. I really can't picture this thing reaching 85, and certainly not a 100 that's coming up. We'll cruise coast for a bit, seeing as we hit the maximum. Now, the only problem with coasting is that yeah, we're in fourth gear. It's going to affect our acceleration somewhat when we put the power back on. Okay, scratch that, it's actually not too bad, presumably because we're already doing 49 mph when I bumped up the power. Now we are heading into 85 mph section. We can find out just how fast this thing can go. Well, we are now doing 100 kph. We're now in a 100 mph section. There's certainly no way this thing is going to be doing 100 mph. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we can hit 80. I think somewhere in the cab it may even show us what our max speed is. There we go, max speed 70, so we are already maxed out. So we have double yellows here. Definitely need to, at the very least, start coasting. See what the next signal is showing. That's not our line, but nevertheless, I can't see what our line is. Okay, ours is single yellow, so we've definitely got to start slowing. I can see the see those signals are not for us. I can't see what our ones up ahead here. I can clearly see two reds, but I can't see what the central one is, and that's the one that applies to us. It looks like our one's green. Well, there's a chance that it is. I mean, it is a green one there, and that does very much look like it's ours. So you can't put it on too much speed because we are approaching a 40 mph section. There we go, yeah, so it's definitely us that's green, but we are going to have to do some light-ish braking. There you go, that's enough. So next station, Lenzie, which that's why we're slowing down. Changing up the points there, and wow, we're back to 100 mph. So let's get the speed up again. Yeah, we've got green signals ahead, so it's all well and good. So we'll be hurtling through Lenzie at a fair old pace, or at least certainly a fair old pace by Class 101 standards. While I'm not the biggest fan of the Class 101 DU because of the manual gears here, doing a journey like this where it's effectively non-stop, well, there's no effectively about it, it is non-stop, it's not so bad because obviously, you know, we're not having to stop at stations, we haven't got to worry about, you know, going through the gears again. So what I might do actually is stop at one of the stations that we're going to be approaching. Won't be the very next one, but it will be one. So that then, yeah, we can go through the manual gear progression again. And like I say, I have no idea if I'm doing it right or not. It feels right. But yeah, if I'm not doing it right, and anyone is watching who is a damn sight more knowledgeable about driving a 101 DMU than I am, then yeah, feel free to let us know what the right way is. So I'm going to coast for a little bit. I don't think it's a good idea to keep it at full throttle when we're maxed out for too long, so it's not going to do the engines any favours. The engines in the Class 101 were not the most robust of units. We're certainly into, yeah, the more sort of Scottish scenery that I imagine. This is much more like it. There's no doubt about it. If you like the scenic routes as I do, then yeah, you've got to get yourself some of the Scottish routes. Right, we're down to 57, so let's get some speed up again. Take us back up to 70. when you consider that you know, we're travelling close to the top speed of this thing, the acceleration rate is not bad. Alright, it's no APT, but it's still pretty impressive. So Croy is the next station. We'll go through that one. Start coast it again. The other thing about the Class 101 that you've probably already figured out for yourself, it's a noisy bastard thing. It sounds like the whole thing is just rattling itself to pieces. Once it drops below 60, we'll apply the power again. We'll take it straight to full, just in time for some top thrash through Croy, I think. There we go, right. There we go, Croy has been dispatched. So it really doesn't take us long to get to top speed of this thing. 70.9 is probably stretching it a bit, so we'll start cruising again. So Edinburgh Waverley is now 35 miles. We're now on a slight downward gradient, 1 in 250. Still going to lose speed, but not at quite the rate that we would be if we were on flat ground. Looks like it's levelling out. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it's even showing on the display, the route display, completely flat. Let's get ourselves back up to 70 again. See if we can get it up to 71. I'm sure we can, but yeah, once we do, I'll start coasting again. There we are. Let's get some exterior shots. So I've no idea where the next station is, but it certainly seems as though it's a fair distance from the one, the previous one was in Croy. So what I'll do, we'll stop at the next station, whichever one it is. Drop below 60, so back on the throttle, get ourselves back up to 70 again. Just in case you're wondering, Green Hill E&G. No, I don't know what the E&G stands for either. I mean, it looks like it's a passing loop of some kind, but that's all I know. Going tearing through there at 71 mph. Time to heat up an ICOS before we need to start reapplying power again. Now I think this is only about like the second or third time I have actually used this route. This is definitely a route I've got to play more often. I'm pretty sure the career scenarios for this route have you driving something rather more impressive than the Class 101. Ready to go up to 71 again, especially as we've got greens to ahead. We'll start coasting again. We're going downhill. And we have the next station, so Falkirk High is where we're going to be stopping. So we'll treat it as a regular stop. We'll stop there, we'll let passengers disembark and get on. Let's bring some speed down. The brakes on this thing are not great, so even though we're over a mile away, I do think reducing speed somewhat is going to be necessary. Let's get ourselves at least below 50. I'm braking rather early. But like I say, brakes on the 101 are nothing to write home about. Ourselves down to about 25. I can only assume this station is on the outskirts of Falkirk. I always thought Falkirk was a fairly major town, but there's not a lot here. Okay. So, yep, unloading. The gears sorted out, we're back in the first gear again. Thought if I re-clicked on that they would shut. There we go. Right, let's get on the way. So essentially all I do with the gears, once we're up to 100% of the throttle, I then use the gears to increase our acceleration. I don't really use the throttle until we're needing to slow down again. I think you're really meant to take the gears right the way to top before changing them. Once we hit about 40, we'll change up. So the decrease in the speed limit to 95 is not going to have the remotest effect on us, let alone the increase that's coming up to 100. So, no more stops now until Edinburgh Waverley. 100 mph section. Next station is Pullman. So we're already at 70 mph. When you consider the age of this thing, its acceleration rate, I think, is fantastic. You compare this to like modern EMU, like a class 175. The acceleration rate on that thing is pitiful. Okay, I think 71.2, we can let the engine coast a bit. Don't want to put it under too much strain. Our signal is green. Saw a couple of reds there and I got worried for a second. Give it some thrash as we're going through Pullman station. Need to worry too much about this upcoming speed limit increase. Go back to coasting. Hoping it was a bit more of a mountainous area here, but not quite. Now, that can't be the Bowness, surely. I know there's a railway heritage centre in Bowness. But I didn't think that was around here. I mean, we're still 20 miles from Edinburgh Waverley. No, it's got to be a different one. I mean, it hasn't got the apostrophe there, so I'm assuming it's a different Bowness. Right, gone below 60. Let's pick up the throttle again. Glasgow is the next station. Just over a mile away. So 71.2 seems to be very much where this train's absolute max is, or this loco I should say. So So we'll probably coast through Glasgow, and we are now around 18 miles from Edinburgh Waverley. Less than half an hour according to the ETA. So even with that stop that we made at Falkirk High, we are going to arrive sooner than the initial ETA actually showed. Here we are at Glasgow station. So we're below 58, let alone below 60, so let's get some speed up again. Very slight uphill gradient here, 1 in 500, not really going to have any effect on our acceleration. Start, see if we can try and maintain speed. No, see, as soon as we go down just 1 notch, we start losing speed. So we may as well just completely coast it, save the engine a bit. The uphill gradient has steepened a bit. 1 in 400, it's still nothing. Very little effect on our rate of travel. One thing I forgot to do earlier was show the cab of the Class 101 DMU. Here it is. Very, very functional, still with the old style parking brake there. Compare that to, you know, the cab of a Class 800. Okay, so bring it back up again. Another speed limit decrease coming up to 80. Again, not going to have any effect on us. Again, we reached 71, no problem. I'm Constantly impressed by the acceleration rate of this thing. Maybe an old crate, but it can still properly shift. There we are into the 80 mph section. 90 mph speed limit in just over a mile. Goes back up to speed again. Into the 90 mph section, and we are slightly downhill now, 1 in 211. So 71 mph, we can coast once more. Right, we have dropped below 60 again. We're approaching Bathgate Junction. Only thing I know about Bathgate is that it's where David Tennant's from. Again. So we're now about 8 miles from Edinburgh Waverley. Less than 15 minutes according to the ETA. reduce the rate that we're slowing down. It's really not having any impact. Oh well, let's take it back up to 70 again. We'll have another ICOS. So Edinburgh Park Station is coming up, a mile and a quarter away. So this section is electrified, but yeah, it's not electrified on the entire route. If it had been, yeah, I wouldn't have used the Class 101, although I'm not regretting using the 101. It's been a great route for this loco. I just realised, yeah, we dropped down below, well below 60, so let's get the speed up again. So we'll be giving some max thrash as we go through Edinburgh Park. Max thrash doesn't really have the same sort of impact when you're in a 101 DMU. Right, let's coast and get some final exterior views. Don't need to worry one bit about the upcoming speed limit reduction. So 3 miles to go to Waverley. Next station, Haymarket, is coming into view on the route planner here, 1.5 miles away. Probably not a good idea to go full power because there's the 40 mph limit before we get there, so we're probably going to be going over some points changing our changing the line that we're on. I do believe that is it's the rugby ground. I can't remember the name of. Overdone it on the speed reduction, as always. I was hoping 25% would be enough to hold speed. Yeah, even at 50 we're going to be doing over 40 there. Here we are at Haymarket, penultimate stop. So this 35 mph section coming up, we can pretty much treat it as though it's not there and just go straight down to 20 for the speed limit change after that. So I believe this is Mound Tunnel. What a name. They couldn't have given it any more fucking innuendo if they tried. Brakes on this thing, I may need to no, I didn't need to. Yeah. Whoa, that is a red light up ahead. No, it isn't. That's for that line, but we have double yellow, which is no surprise really, considering that we have Waverley dead ahead. So we're in a 20 mph section now. Taking us right over to platform 15. Okay, I thought it would be taking us through there. I thought we'd get the alert, but nope. Yeah, I definitely did this the right way. Approaching Waverley Station is not so bad. Leaving Waverley Station can be a real pain in the arse. There are some red signals, or some signals in general, that can be really awkward to spot. And if they're red, and you drive like me, i.e. far too fast as the emergency brakes have came, yeah, you don't notice those signals until way too late. But there we are. We arrived at Waverley. That's a great route. I'm going to have to do that more often. And even in the even in an old crate like a Class 101, it was pretty good. Yeah, I like that one. See what we do. I think operational errors, penalty brakes applied twice. I don't remember a second time. The first, yeah, one time, yeah, just as we were in heading into Waverley. I mean, I had it under control. I could have stopped it, no problem. But oh well. So there we go. Glasgow to Edinburgh. A great route. Yep, I like that one a lot. So that's this request video done, and we'll see you on the next one.